Hello, I'm Sunde and I make coloring books. Today's tip is how to make highlights within the color black instead of just using white, which would turn dirty gray and just not really give the depth and dimension that you want. This is what I call the Wonder Woman technique because you use blue as the undercolor to highlight the black. Because really with shadows and light bouncing off things, it's usually just a lighter version of the color. It's not generally just white. Like sometimes it is, but generally to the eye, there's actually a lot of little colors involved. But black, it usually just ends up looking like a big giant blob, and it's really frustrating. So this is how you kind of do a nice subtle highlight that makes the black stand out and not be just a big black blob. So first, again, I have my color options, which I love this blue. It's written in French, so I actually don't know the actual name of it. It says blue paillon or something. What does that mean in French? Anyway, this is one of my favorite blues for this technique, and for it just is a very interesting blue instead of like a primary boring blue. And then I'm using this because it really illustrates the Wonder Woman technique. It's a very much of a super bright bright blue, which is totally how Wonder Woman's hair is. And then I have a gray with a tiny bit of blue in it, which is keeping in the scale of having everything being in a similar shade. And then here's my black. So I'm going to start coloring in using actually the lightest, brightest blue color. So thinking of Wonder Woman's hair, you're going to put the blue just in a nice line like this. And as this wing gets longer, our blue is going to elongate. The highlight will elongate. I'm not doing it too hard. I'm just kind of doing it medium. Just about that. Like that. Okay. And then I love this blue because it's just has so much more dimension and interest than this primary blue. But so we're going to go in and sort of go over pretty hard like this over the blue. But now there's like a nice, you think it's not noticeable, but if you didn't do it, it would be noticeable that you didn't do it. So it's just about building layers and dimension. So now we're going to go in with the layers of the black. I'll just do a little part. I don't want to bore you. Go in like this. And then like we learned from the blending from before, you go heavier, the darkest here, to a little bit lighter, and you just start kind of going into the blue a little bit. Just kind of organically. There's not like no shadow or highlight is exact. Just sort of go in like this, just kind of medium heaviness like that to a darker, then you can get the black to be really, really dark and then lighten it. So now we know where the highlight is, and what we're going to do now is go back in with the blue and start to blend the blue into the black like that. Just kind of color right over the black and into the black, because it'll start to sort of make it just look more glossy. And now I'm going to do a final go back in with the black. Again, it's just sort of trading off back and forth so that they're just slowly blending in with each other. And I might even do a little texture because a bird's wing has some very thin lines on it. So now I'm just going to go in with the very, very black here. Very, very black. And then just kind of do a final blend in with a few lines like that. And then sometimes I will go a little bit, sorry camera, sometimes I will go in with a little bit of white, just like along the edges, let's say, because there will always be white highlight. And I'll do a little finishing touch just to bring out everything with the black. I might do a little bit kind of right along with the blue and the black, just do a little extra, and then I will do a final black to kind of seal everything back up. And this final one, just because it's a bird, this isn't with every black, but I'm doing more of just the lines to kind of create that texture. And that's it. That's how you do Wonder Woman highlights on animals.